Dear participants, today we are going to talk about how to teach education for sustainable development and what kind of topics regarding to climate change and energy issues. My name is Marianne Juntunen and I'm a doctor in these issues in chemistry teaching and teaching now in a small local school in Lapland in Finland. If we start about this, how to teach these socio-scientific complex issues, according to my research, the teaching should be very holistic, which means that we take it interdisciplinary manner and use those kind of issues that students have interests on, and they can be very creative, the students themselves. They should ask questions and we should investigate those questions. Inquiry means asking questions about the issue and also answering the issues, which can be really open. So the teacher don't need to restrict the topic, so the teacher can let it be really open and tell the students that we have this kind of big issues, would you like to investigate those? And how would you like to do that? Normally the students prefer working in groups and also having some contacts outside school, so they can contact some corporations or companies or non-governmental organizations or local actors who can be, for example, shops or anything that they are interested in. And this is the societal dimension, that you can take visitors to the schools and you can go and visit to places, and some students can do some things and others can do other things, and then they can share their experiences. Argumentation practices are also a basic important topic which you can use, or a manner how to teach socio-scientific issues. Argumentation practices can be used, for example, using drama, that you have certain roles. I will come to that later. And value considerations are important part of science education and all kind of education nowadays. So we don't need to know only that we have plastics, but we want to know what are plastics made for and how do they affect nature, how resource intensive they are, or what kind of effect they have on climate change, for example. Complex issues called socio-scientific issues, which can be told also to be SSE here. Solutions-oriented practices are the most motivating for the students, because then they don't feel overwhelmed. They don't need only the knowledge, they need to start to think solution-oriented manner. And if we think about the issues or these practices more concretely, I'll come to this what point now. I have recently made the research and also a book about topics and some kind of practices that we can use. So now I will touch those issues very briefly. This LCA means life cycle analysis, which students can do for any product they are interested in. So for example, my students picked CD, and they asked that what is CD made out of, and then I told them that I don't know. And actually in whole Lapland there are maybe no people who know anything about the chemistry of CD or how it is really made, like in what kind of procedure and what happens when you throw it in the trash bin. So they chose CD, and then me as a teacher, I only supported them that, okay, find knowledge about the chemical substances that are used, how are those chemical substances made, what kind of factories there are, where are the raw materials coming, can you recycle the product, how important the product is. So they make kind of like value analysis also. And I will show you here the picture. This is the CD picture of the CD presentation that they have done. And they can do it like this, drawing and writing by hand, but they can also use some kind of modern technologies like apps that are at iPads or anything at the computer presentations, so they can themselves choose everything. The topic, also they can choose how they present it, and it would be the best if they chose who they want to present it. I have used presentations where have been parents, local politicians, or random tourists, and we have made some kind of mini presentation exhibitions where have been different kinds of presentations about product life cycle analysis. Also, this can be done for different kind of energy production, that they investigate the energy production of a material, or even just what kind of energy plants do we have. And yeah, I really feel that those kind of exhibitions have been successful, and thought in a bigger scale the students that they know the most about these issues, that these adults, they don't know actually that much, and that they can have ideas how to improve the life cycle of a product. And how does that come to the climate change and energy, which are the issues in this course? One way is to look at the energy-intensive products and compare those to very energy-efficient products. And another perspective could be that what kind of global issues are touched because of this product, that how does the CD, for example, does it contribute to climate change? Does it contribute to ocean acidification processes? So I would recommend to also do this kind of exhibition about the big issues that we have that are huge, and there are so many of those. This climate change as a topic, that what to teach in it, is huge, and you have, of course, a really good ideas in that. We have used a debate which mimics the climate change summit. So there would be different countries which are participating in the summit, and one student represents USA, one is for example Egypt, and one is Maldives and one is Finland and so on. So we first consider how do those countries are different, that they have different kind of industries. Some of them produce oil, some of them are threatened by the rise of sea levels and so on. So through this kind of drama play, the students get the feeling that this is the key, that why and how we could improve things, that we need to do it together, that there are different kind of perspectives, not only one answer to these social scientific issues. Also, I told about the energy intensity of the products that can be somehow compared. That, for example, metal and red meat have a high intensity of energy, but not only energy, also a resource intensity is high. So that's bound to climate change, of course, if you need to cut the forests, or if you use fresh water a lot, or contribute to acidification of fresh water, or if you need to build up a mine. And so it's actually very funny to compare the products. So then the students understand that the life cycles are similar, are really similar, but some of them are very rough for the nature. And for us, of course, we are the nature. One practice can be measuring and evaluating your own carbon footprint. Also, water footprint can be evaluated. There are pages in the internet, and those pages that we have used are in Finnish, but I would recommend you to find those multiple pages from the internet in your language, where you can measure the carbon footprint of the family, for example, and what kind of variable there are. For example, the heatage of the house, or what do you eat, or transportations. Those are the three big issues that should be discussed equally, not only transportation or not only heating, but also the food and consumption. Then afterwards, of course, you do the measurement, but then you also make a plan how you could reduce your footprint, and you can take a certain level and discuss it with the students, that what level can we reach and within which kind of time frame can we reach that level. It's also interesting to compare it to the water footprint, because then you notice that there are the certain products that are energy intensive and water intensive, and they are most often the same products. The guidebook that I've been writing recently is now ready. It's now in Finnish, and it will be in the internet within these days, and also used as a course material and on the basis of our reflection task. But unfortunately, it's not yet in English, so I will help you with that. It depends on our volunteers and money that we can get from funds. How fast I can translate it to other languages. One thing I would still like to mention, which also is bound to big issues like climate change and energy, is a chemicalization phenomenon. This chemicalization is a phenomenon which really should be touched during the chemistry lessons. As we change the chemical balance, the normal or the present state of biosphere, atmosphere, or waters that are in our environment, the effect that this phenomenon has been evaluated by the most popular and honored magazine or journal, Nature. This has evaluated chemicalization as severe as climate change. So we really should start to investigate this issue also, even though it's really depressing, because it's huge and we don't understand it very well yet. Chemicalization and also the use of fertilizers and how we can produce energy out of some kind of slurries from the society. These are also big issues within science lessons. So I hope you can follow me, but what I'm trying to say is that chemicalization and fertilizer use are both bound to energy consumption and production. For example, if you want to produce natural gas, which you crack from the rock, base rock, then you have to use, in these procedures that they are now using, they use tons of chemicals. So heavy chemicals and 1,000 different kind of compounds that they press to the rock. So if we are switching from fossil fuels to natural gas, which comes from the rock, is liuskekaasu in Finnish. I couldn't now remember it in English, but you might know what I mean. France has restricted and said that they don't want to have this kind of energy production. So this could be looked with the students and thinking with them that do we really need this and what could be the alternatives. And also this huge way that we can use the similar gas, methane, and similar carbon, hydrogen compounds. We can produce those similar compounds using slurries, sewage, bio-waste, and some waste from agriculture and forests. So big issues that we can really investigate with the students, and it's motivating because they really know that if they can understand these, then they are specialists, that even their parents, they don't know about this, most of them, and even the teacher doesn't know about it so much. So everybody learns. So solution-orientated, holistic, teacher is the catalysator. Teacher helps the students to proceed with their investigation. But the students are those who make decisions, what topics, how they investigate, how they do the presentation, do they do them together or alone. And then finally the teacher can help the students to have argumentation practices, debates, or together create something else. And these practices are just which I have met and used, but these are not the only ones. These are just a tiny part of all the possibilities, and you might have really good examples which I really would die to hear. So I hope you can do the reflection task and yeah, I will come to that later, but let's continue from this. This was my presentation. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.